Ways of the Wild Institute here in Vermont. I've been discussing quite a bit about wild edibles lately on my Wild Edibles series, and that will continue. But I decided that, in my personal opinion, many times, knowing the poisons of the wild is just as or more important than knowing the edibles. So I decided to begin a small wild poisons series here, and we're going to specifically talk about the poisons that are in the specific plants. So we're not going to branch off into ticks and snakes and spiders and scorpions and things like that. We're going to mainly discuss poisons that are found in some plants that are located in the regions that I'm showing the Wild Edible series. And the first plant that we're going to be discussing today is the Spreading Dogbane. And I'll get to that and show you what it's all about here in a minute. But we have to understand that plants contain some of the most poisonous toxins known to this world. And even though there are many plants out there that can cure some of the most potent diseases, there are plants out there that can easily take your life if you eat a single leaf. Sometimes even just getting the oil of the leaf on your hand and then rubbing the side of your mouth later on in the day will be enough to kill you. So knowing the poisonous plants in the location that you're at is essential. These are plants that you need to avoid. Many people, even professionals, have poisoned themselves, even their whole families, by not properly identifying a plant before they harvested it for food or medicine. Now let's take a look at the Spreading Dogbane. Here is your Spreading Dogbane. It's a very sharp looking plant. Now, I mean, it's considered a shrub. In certain areas it can grow up to 4 feet tall. Here in the mountains of Vermont, boy, 3 feet is about the tallest I've seen. But in southern areas, because it does grow from southern Canada all the way down into the northern mountains of North Carolina, you can find it growing all the way out to Illinois and Indiana. In the southern areas it can grow quite a bit taller. But you'll see all the way down here at the bottom, you've got your very stout stem, okay? Because it is kind of more of a shrub bush, and so it does have a very sturdy, stout stem. And you'll notice it comes straight up out of the ground in a single green branch. But as it comes up, you'll notice that it starts to turn different colors. Alright, it turns more of a brownish, purplish color. And as you come up, you'll notice here's a little leaf bud. And the further up you get, more branches come out. Now you'll see right here, you get leaves coming out, and the branch comes out at the same place. And as we follow that up, we'll find more branches. And notice the branches are kind of a reddish purple color. And they are stout and they are smooth all the way up. Now if we look at the leaves here, the leaves are also smooth. They have no serrations whatsoever. Alright? On the bottom side, you'll notice they're very pale green with very bright veins. On the top side, more of a medium green with thinner veins. Right? The veins sink in, so they pop out underneath the leaf more so than the top of the leaf. You'll also notice that the leaves are side by side, growing up the stem. Each one side by side, all the way up to the top. Another thing you need to realize about this plant, the Spreading Dogbane, is that inside the leaves and the stems, when you break them, they have a white milky sap, almost like milkweed. Now let's take a look here for a moment. In this field we have a lot of spreading dogbane, but take a look at this plant right here. Many people would take a glance at this and mistake it. This is not spreading dogbane. This is a small cherry tree. Now, if we take a closer look, we'll notice that this leaf right here has slight serrations on the edge. See that? And the stem is actually barky. It is brown bark. See that? Unlike the spreading dogbane, which is a green stem. Even though the leaf stems are the same color as the spreading dogbane. It has that purplish red color. And you'll notice these leaves are not growing side by side. They are staggered up the stem. So it's very important to get your identification down. Okay? At first glance, when you're out here in the field, when you walk by and you look, you might think that that's spreading dogbane. But in fact, that is a cherry tree. Now it's a little too early in the year for this to flower. This plant usually flowers between June and July. I've seen it flower as late as early August. But it gets drooping, small drooping pink flowers. And on the inside of the flowers are usually dark pink or red stripes. And they're little bells. They're little drooping bells, almost like a blueberry flower. So blueberry flowers are normally white or pale yellow. But what's poisonous on this is basically the chemical compound found throughout the plant. It is a cardioactive glycoside. And what that means is if you consume this plant, it can and will, depending on your dose, affect your heart. This plant does have a tendency to poison livestock. People who have large fields where they have cattle grazing and there's a lot of spreading dogbane, the cattle will eat the spreading dogbane and they will get poisoned from it. Alright? So this plant right here, spreading dogbane, has a toxin in it that will affect the rate of your heart and has in the past killed people by consuming it. So learn to identify this plant and avoid it. Alright, you can touch it, as you saw I was touching it. Some poisonous plants you don't even want to touch, but this one is alright to touch. Just don't eat it. So this is White Wolf here at Ways of the Wild Institute in Vermont, and that is a little bit about the spreading dogbane. And I am in a field surrounded by spreading dogbane right now. Absolutely beautiful plant, or shrub, whatever you want to call it, but it's just not for our use. So that completes the first video clip on my Wild Poisons series. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from these videos. If you're interested in anything else that I do up here in Vermont, check out the website, waysofthewildinstitute.com. Lula Mollison, be well and happy.